Hello, hello, hello. Uh, is is it audible now? Everybody, is it audible now? All of you, those who are watching this video, can you hear me? If you can hear me, just type one. If it is loud and clear, just type one. If it is clear, please type one. I'm waiting for everybody's response. Absolutely all right. So I would like to just know, I would like to just go and check how many students have joined. So yeah, so I was just telling you that you just subscribe to our channel if you have not joined, because as you know that we have started to deliver some sessions about TCS NQT every day from 5 to 7. You will learn something very crucial about TCS NQT examination, which is supposed to be held on 21st, 22nd, 23rd and 24th of this month. So to take this forward, as you can check on the screen, that the today's session is Master the Number System of TCS NQT with Shikuya. This number system is a very important chapter. As you know that there will be lot of questions being asked from this number system concept. And a number system concept, this fundamentally this number system itself includes a lot many concepts that I'm going to explain in this presentation or in this session in the later part of this. But initially, I'm going to give you a quick run through or a quick walkthrough to the types of problems that are expected to be asked into this particular examination. So as soon as we will quickly go through these problems, I will try to give the solutions of these problems as well, just as a fair idea what is number system, just to introduce you, just to let you acquaint with the types of problems being asked on number system. So here is the first problem on the slide. Just quickly go through it. As you can see, find the unit digit of 1 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 3 factorial plus 4 factorial plus 5 factorial plus 6 factorial plus 7 factorial and so on. The series is extended till 49 factorial. And you are supposed to find out the unit digit of this mathematical series, this particular expression. So the options are A, B, C, D, 3, 1, 0, 0. So these are the options. And I would like to tell you that find out the answer for this. So I would like to see the comment box. So if is there any student who has tried to solve this problem? I'm not going to explain this problem in detail at all. We will discuss it on later on. But okay, so that's okay. That's okay. I'm not expecting that you should be telling me the answers, because anyways, I'm not going to solve these problems right now. So I would like to take this forward. Just go to the slide so that let's view the second problem on the slide. So as you can see, the second problem on the slide is which of the following numbers are divisible by 9? It's quite simple. It's very easy kind of problem. If I will change this by which of the following numbers are divisible by 11 or divisible by 13 or divisible by maybe 17 or divisible by 19, 23, 29, 37, 39. If I'm going to increase this particular count into this particular problem or this kind of problem, then these problems will become more and more difficult. So here you have to understand one thing, that this is just an example, that they may ask you this kind of question: which of the following numbers are divisible by 9? You can expect 19, 17, 23, 29, anything over here, and this becomes a little bit difficult for students who are not good with numbers. So let's go ahead and let's check what kind of next problem you may face, or frequently TCS is asking this kind of questions in few years. So in the next slide, there is one more problem. How many different numbers of form 25y 178x are divisible by 8? So there is a number, there is a 7-digit number, and they are telling us that how many different forms of numbers may be available. And unfortunately, I have there is a typing error, because the answers in the given problem, that is A, B, C, D, are different from this. So don't look at the options. Options are something different, like 4, 10, 1 or 0. Let me give you the options: 4, 10, 1 and 0. These are the options. So this is a kind of problem where you have to figure out uh, and by your basic common sense of numbers, that is which could be the digits at the place of y and at the place of x. So how many different numbers of forms could be there is the fundamental question. So let's go ahead on the next slide. Probably the next question here is: find the unit places of 11 raised to 11, 12 raised to 12, 13 raised to 13, 14 raised to 14 and 15 raised to 15. And basically after every expression there is a multiplication sign. So you are supposed to find out 11 raised to 11 into 12 raised to 12 into 13 raised to 13 and so on. So here many students get confused, and again this is a very simple kind of problem. This is a very easy kind of problem. So for these kind of problems you have to understand there are some mathematical tricks. There are smart techniques to attempt or to solve these kind of problems. So this becomes very essential and very important that you should be able to learn these concepts first of all, so that you will be able to calculate this kind of questions in a very simpler way. There is one more popular problem. They may ask you to figure out how many prime numbers are there in between 1 to 100. Now students, those who don't know the tricks, the smart tricks, will start counting these numbers. That is not the way to solve number system problems. I would like to take it on the next slide where you will find one more problem, one more type of problem. So look at the problem. A certain number when divided by 249 leaves a remainder 31. Another number when divided by 481 leaves a remainder 53. What is the remainder when the sum of these two numbers is divided by 37? Right? So look at the problem. It seems to be very complicated. It seems to be lengthy. It seems to have a lot of numbers, and students in majority case leaves this kind of problem because they don't want to waste time onto solving these problems and get a wrong answer. But basically this is a very simple kind of problem where you have to have a very basic knowledge about divisibility and remainders. Are you getting my point? So as I said earlier, my intention is not to solve these problems, but my intention is to let you acquaint, let you introduce with the type of problems you may expect in the number system concept. So let's go ahead on the next slide now. Now look at this kind of problem. Find the remainder when 53 raised to 49 plus 45 is divided by 54. Now this is a classic example where majority of the students get confused, but fundamentally this problem belongs to a concept of remainder theorem. So if you know that theorem, if you know that rule, you can solve this problem within 3 to 5 seconds. So this is very important that in number system, it's about to understand the smart techniques or the basic concepts and a little bit of common sense. So if you will use your mathematical common sense, all the number system problems being asked into TCS exams will be solved in a fraction of seconds. Let's go ahead to the final one, and then let us go ahead to how to study the number system. So look at the problem. Find out the unit place of 1278 raised to 3571, right? So there is a number 1278 raised to 3571. So look at the figure. So this kind of problem belongs to the cyclicity or last finding out last two digits of two numbers. So that is the concept. So I would like to take it forward where I'm going to tell you what basics you should study, to crack the number system problems. So look at the slide. As you can observe on the slide, in this I have some hot topics, that is divisibility and remainder. So you can expect at least 2 to 3 questions on this divisibility and remainder. After that, cyclicity and last two digits. You can also expect 1 or 2 questions from the cyclicity and last two digit concept. Next is HCM and LCM and factors. And to be very honest with you, while solving the divisibility problems or remainder theorem problems, you have to be very good at factors and HCF LCM, because anyways if you won't be able to calculate the factors, that is not going to help you into divisibility. So this is really important. They are interdependent chapters. There is a lot of dependency of one concept onto another. The next is factorials. As you have seen in the first column, 1 factorial into 2 factorial into 3 factorial, or 1 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 3 factorial plus 4 factorial and so on to 49 factorial, where you have to find the unit digit or unit place value. There is one more similar kind of problem. They will give you a long series, that 1 factorial into 2 factorial into 3 factorial into 4 factorial into 5 factorial into 6 factorial, and they will ask you to calculate the number of zeros in the given particular mathematical expression. So basically my concern over here is, if you want to really be successful in cracking the questions based on number system, you have to prepare for these chapters, the chapters on the slide. Definitely you have to study the first row, that is hot concepts, and you have to go ahead with the warm concepts as well, because both of them are required. And definitely I won't be able to tell you all the concepts, or I cannot revise all the concepts, I cannot revisit all the concepts in a session of 30 minutes. So definitely we are going to plan a separate session for maybe a couple of sessions for these concepts in the upcoming schedule. Maybe in the couple of weeks you will come across a separate session, a long session of these basic concepts of number system. Now I would like to take this forward. I'm going to explain you what should you study, where, like, how can you go ahead and study at your own level along with my session dedicatedly on number system. So fundamentally learn and study the basic numbers, that is what is odd, what is even, what is composite, what is prime. That is really essential. You have to study and you have to practice to find out like prime numbers, like whether a given number is a prime number or not, how to calculate the prime numbers between 1 to 1000. So in initial first 1000, like 1000 numbers, how many prime numbers are there? In initial 100 numbers, how many prime numbers are there? In initial 200 numbers, how many prime numbers are there? You can these two mathematical expressions. There is a lot of difference between these two mathematical expressions. So considering this, you have to study these rules, right? Because in the earlier problem, when there was a question that is 53 raised to something, I still remember the question was 53 raised to 45, I guess, plus how much? Jessica, can you just quickly help me out? Okay, so 53 raised to 49, 53 raised to 49 plus 45, plus 45, this is divided by 54. So look at this number. Now if I want to solve this number, I have to do this like 53 raised to 49, right, plus 1 and plus 45. Now this is very simple, very simple thing that I have done. In the similar way, if I want to solve indices problems in more detail, I have to have a basic knowledge about the indices, the rules of indices. So this becomes very important in case of cyclicity, divisibility, remainder, and last two digit concepts. So that is really important that you have to study. As you can check on the slide, Ajay sir, could you please bring the slide again? Okay, so go ahead. So after that, you have to have a basic knowledge about some like basic formulas. For example, those a plus b bracket square, a very important formula. After that, calculating the sum of two numbers, sum of even numbers, sum of odd numbers, sum of geometrical progression numbers, sum of arithmetic numbers. There are few rules about products of two numbers. There are few rules how to divide quickly of two numbers. So you just have to understand that how does it work? How does it work when it comes to these basic concepts? For example, let me give you an example on the next slide. I'm going to explain you a very simple, a very common technique on the next slide, where I'm going to tell you how to study divisibility and remainders. So if you look at this slide, the first point that I have covered is divisibility test. So what I mean that you have to understand the basic divisibility rules in a very different way. For example, if you consider the divisibility of 2, divisibility of 3, divisibility of 4, divisibility of 6, divisibility of 7. Up to 7 it is quite easy. Divisibility of 9 is also easy. But the part becomes difficult when it comes to the divisibility of numbers like 11, 13 and 17 and 19 and 23, 29, 37, 32, right? So when it comes to divisibility of such higher numbers, it becomes complicated. For example, if I want to check a number, that 15405, if I want to calculate this number, if I want to find out whether this number is divisible by 13 or not, I want to calculate whether this number is divisible by 13 or no 13 or not. Now this is really important, that there are some conventional techniques to find out whether this number is divisible by 13 or not. But I think those conventional techniques are not going to work when it comes to competitive examinations or this employability test. I have a very simple technique for you all. Now what you have to do here is you have to just multiply this by 4, right? So what I mean to say, you just remove this number 5, and multiply this number by 4 to get 20. So 5 fours are 20. Now you have got 20. Add this 20 in the remaining number. So the number becomes 1560. So first of all, the number was 1545, 15,405. What I have done, I have multiplied this 5, unit digit 5, last digit by 4. I have multiplied the last digit by 4 to get 20. Now I have added this 20 in the remaining number to get 1560. Now you can clearly check that we have a 0 over here. So even if we multiply this by 4, we will get a 0. I will add this to remaining number, that is 156 plus 0, that is 156. Now you can easily check by dividing this 156 by 13. You will be immediately able to understand whether this number is divisible by 13 or not. Are you getting my point? So this is a very simple technique. You have to just go on multiplying the unit digit value by 4, add the answer of the multiplication to the remaining number, add this, whatever you have remained, again do the same thing, again follow the same thing, multiply it by 4, get the answer, add it over here. Finally, at a certain stage, you will get a final number that is you can easily identify with that number whether that number is divisible by 13 or not. Can you understand my point? So specifically in chapters like number system, this kind of smart techniques are going to help you to solve the problem. So if the student is knowing all these techniques, then he will be able to crack the number system examination. So to be very honest with you, this is really important for all of us to understand how does it work. So to take this forward, just try to understand the basic concepts of divisibility. For example, in case of remainders, I'm going to introduce you one more technique just to have a clarity about it, right? Just to have a more clarity about it. So before I go ahead with my session, I would like to take a feedback that have you understood what I tried to tell you till this moment? There is somebody who is called PBV tutorials, and he is telling me that sir app पे सब कुछ paid है, कुछ भी free नहीं है. So I would like to just tell all the viewers that you have to just go to the top right corner video button. You have to click there. You will get all the videos which are available in free in the same place. So you do not worry about it. Everything is free. Whatever we have committed till this date, right? If in case there is something paid, we will let you know. If you like that content, you can purchase. We are not the people who have some hidden agenda. अगर कुछ बेचना है तो बहुत अच्छे से बेचेंगे, आप सभी को बोल के बेचेंगे, सारे दुनिया में डंडोरा पीट के बेचेंगे अगर कुछ बेचना है तो. So you just don't worry. Whatever we have committed is definitely free. Go to the top right video corner and watch the video. So my point here is, when it comes to number system, you should have some tricks. For example, let us try to look at the number, earlier number. And what is that number? 53 raised to 49, right? Ajay sir, can you quickly go to that number? 45. Huh? Now, this number when divided by 54, this number when divided by 54, what will be the remainder? So look at the question first of all. Look at the question first of all. What is the question? The question is 53 raised to 49 plus 45 divided by 54. So my point here is this requires a very basic knowledge, a very basic rule that you should know. That rule is if a raised to n plus 1, if a raised to n plus 1 is divisible by a plus 1, a raised to n plus 1 is divisible by a plus 1, right? When n is odd. This is really important. So when this n is odd, a raised to n plus 1 is always divisible by a plus 1. So you need to understand this rule. And if you will be able to understand this is very simple. If you have one mathematical term, that is a raised to n plus 1 divided by a plus 1. And if this n is odd, the power of a is odd, then this number is 100% divisible. So look at this, 53 raised to 49. This 49 is, yes, this 49 is odd. Am I right? Are you getting my point or not? But unfortunately, this problem doesn't look into this pattern. This problem doesn't seems to be into this pattern. So we have to have a slight adjustment into this. So I'm going to write it over here. The way I'm going to adjust, look at this, 53 raised to 49 plus 1. Am I right? And now I have 54 over here, right? So just look at it. Let me correct now. Plus 44, and now let us divide it by 54. So look at the number. 53 raised to 49 plus 1 plus 44 divided by 54. So now you can check this mathematical expression fits to this form. A plus 1, A plus 1, that is 53 plus 1, 54, A plus 1. Can you understand this? So if you look at this, now as this is completely divisible, the remainder will be 44, that is option C. I would like to take your feedback. Can you understand my point? Everybody who is watching, if you are able to understand, just type 1. If you are able to understand, if you are able to hear me loud and clear, yes, Sarji, we will teach these things in the next session when we will be going ahead with the actual problems of these things, right? So what if n is odd, what if n is even, we will learn these things in the next session when we will actually go to the problems, FAQs. My point in today's session is that you have to study these particular concepts at your level. Also you can join me and I'm going to teach you these things in my next sessions. So to take this forward, I would like to go to the slide of that divisibility and remainders, right? So look at the slide that in the basic concepts you have to learn divisibility and remainders after this divisibility test. Now the most important remainder theorem, that is this kind of theorems. There are 5 to 6 theorems that you have to have a basic understanding of these theorems, and you can solve any problem that is coming from divisibility and remainder. After that, the fourth point here is practice. This is the most important point that somebody was telling. What if n is positive, like n is even? What if n is even? Now there is another special case. What if n is even? So your practice is going to help you to solve more and more problems based on it, and then only you will be successful. So to take this forward, yes, Vishakha, stay tuned. I'm going to explain it in my few sessions. You are going to learn a lot of things from number system. Just stay tuned. Go to the next slide. So in the next slide, as you can check, there are some concepts from HCF and LCM that you have to know, that you have to understand if you want to get succeeded into the number system concept. But before I go ahead with my session today, I just want to tell you that from Friday evening, that is this Friday, from Friday evening, all the sessions will be live in the mobile application only. That is in the Shikuya application only. You won't be able to watch these free live sessions on YouTube from Friday. So students, those who are watching these videos, students, those who are following our YouTube channel, just make sure that you go to Play Store, you download the Shikuya app, you join the TCS Campus Hiring 2021 program, and then you can continue the learning in free. Let me repeat once again. Top right corner, adjacent to the video icon, bell icon, notification icon, you click there, you will find the list of all the videos that is being streamed till date. So in HCF and LCM, this is important that you should know basic what is LCM and LCM, like HCF and LCM. Now there are few rules, of HCM and LCM. For example, LCM into HCF, that is LCM into HCF, is always equal to product of these two numbers. For example, let me write over here LCM of a number into HCF of those numbers. For example, I have randomly, let me take 3 and 8 as the numbers. So what is the LCM of these two? The LCM is 24. The LCM is 24. What is essential? So this is really, really essential that you should know this thing. In last two-digit number concept, I will be completely categorizing that concept into how many time it was not connected? Huh? So as you can see that, like, I hope we have joined again. There was some internet connectivity issue in the middle. So the internet issue is fixed now and we are live again. So I was just telling you before going offline, or maybe I was explaining the concept of cyclicity. So this kind of cyclicity is applicable to all the other numbers as well, from starting from 2 to 9. For all the numbers, this cyclicity is applicable. And along with this basic cyclicity concept, there are a lot of combined applications of this cyclicity concept to solve the number system problems. When it comes to last two-digit numbers, or when it comes to last two-digit numbers, I have delivered a exclusive session that is already available on YouTube. The name is Concept of Last Two Digits. Last year I have already delivered a session on this. You can watch that video, that is available. Apart from that, I will be delivering a dedicated concept for last two digit in this particular mentorship program as well. So you have to understand all these concepts that I have shown you. You have to understand these basic concepts along with some fundamentals of these number system problems. So I would like to request Ajay sir to take it to the next slide. So how we will be like going ahead? We will be going ahead in two ways. The very first is we will be explaining frequently asked questions. In upcoming sessions, we will be continuously telling you the frequently asked questions. And apart from that, we will be going ahead with the conceptual lectures that are required. So you will be able to learn both the things, like you will be able to understand the FAQs, you will get an idea, you will get a clear idea about the what are the most frequently asked questions of number system, and apart from that we will be delivering some concept lectures, maybe 3 to 5 concept lectures will be delivered based on all these problems: divisibility, number system, and cyclicity and last two digits. So you will get 4 lectures of concept lectures in the same course and the FAQs. So please stay tuned with me. At going ahead, before ending the session, I would like to tell you once again that from Friday onwards we will be only live in the Shikuya application. So download the Shikuya application from Play Store, join there, sign up there, and go and join the course TCS Campus Hiring 2021. And finally, but the most important, please subscribe to our channel. Please subscribe to, please follow to our account on Instagram. Follow our handle on Instagram. The name is Shikuya4, SHIKUAA4. So you will get a lot of updates. And finally, the Telegram channel link is available in the description box. You can join our Telegram channel to get more and more and more updates about this mentorship program in the Telegram channel. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. In case you have any error about accessing the applications and all, you can write us an email at info@shikuya.com. Thank you so much. Thank you joining. Maybe next 2 minutes verbal session will be live. Happy learning. Thank you so much.